Hi everybody, it's Rena. I kind of had a strange experience while I was looking at a video that somebody posted about walking around the Wells property. It was just during the summer, and they had I don't know who made the video. I was just walking around the Wells property around the house, and not really the house so much, but the where the kind of behind the road where the grass was real high and the trees and everything, and they were just walking along. I don't even know if there was audio on it, but it was like around the time she was missing. And I got the weirdest feeling. It was like I was there. And somebody had taped it, and I got the feeling I could hear bugs. I could hear crickets. I could hear loud in my ear like I was really there. I could feel the grass under my feet. It was like a daytime vision. The squishy grass, the dampness, I could feel the humidity. I could sense the bugs, were all over the place. And I felt very, very strongly that Summer was underground, that she was someplace where it was damp. She was on that property, not in that spot, but she was on that property. She was somewhere where it was damp, underground. This could still mean a well, but it was damp, it was underground. She was definitely on that property. And I just had this most awful feeling, like felt like I was suffocating. I could feel the humidity and the heaviness of the air. I've never been in Tennessee, but in Philly we have, or the Delaware, we have a lot of humidity too, but it was an oppressive kind of humidity. And I could see how green the grass was in the video, but I was actually there in spirit. It was like a vision, and I knew for certain 100% that Summer was there, and she was underground in some way. She was buried in something or underground somewhere, and she was on that property because that was the property. It was near the front. It was the side of the road where the trees, where the dog trail is, where the grass was real green. We're in the middle of summer, and I just wanted to share that. And also, one vision I had, Summer took me to the courthouse 3 times, and 2 of the times she took me into the courtroom, and the courtroom was packed with people. And one time it was very strange. It was a vision, so it was like regular, like you would see it in a normal, like this, like normal vision. And there were people all over the courtroom, and I could see a lot of deputies in their brown short sleeve shirts, and they were all piled like rowed against the row in the back of the courtroom. There were a lot of people. There were attorneys, things in one of the visions. There were a lot of attorneys and everything, and God was there. I could see God was lighting up. His whole presence was at the back of the courtroom. He was kind of translucent, but he was still lighting up. I could still see the people, but I knew God was there, and there was light shining in the window. There was like no curtains or shutters or anything like that. Light to me was truth, was shining in the window, and Summer's face was like next underneath God's face a little bit, and her face was there, and she was in the courtroom, but she was also in body form at the front of the courtroom, and I was standing behind her. And as I usually am when I see her, I'm close to her. I'm either looking through her eyes, or I'm be right behind her, kind of being protective. And I stood behind her, and she held out her finger. And Don and Candace were in the front row bench of the courtroom, and there was no barrier like there usually is, like before the judges at the front. And then we were facing the courtroom, and she held her little finger out, and she pointed at Don and Candace. She was accusing them of they had done it. They had done it, and they were squiggling and squirming in the seat like they were so uncomfortable. And this vision I had twice. It was very similar. And in one of the visions, and she also said to me, I wrote it down when I woke up because I remembered it and I wanted to write it down. She said, Innocent over guilty, guilty over innocent. Do they plead guilty to each other? It was very clear, and I wrote it down right away, turned the light on, and I had my little pad because she was giving me a lot of messages in my from visions, and I would wake up and I'd write. I lost a lot of sleep for the first 5 or 6 months with Summer because she would tell me, but that's what she said: innocent over guilty. She was pointing right at them. Guilty over innocent. Do they plead guilty to each other? She was pointing at both of them, and then later on, I found out what had happened. What she had shown me had happened with the accident, and it seemed they were both involved. It was Don, but Candace helped cover it up, and so did Hunter. And Allie knew about it. So there were, and Grandma. So there were basically 5 people in what Summer told me who were directly involved, not all these other people that people have been throwing in. Um, this what really frustrates me. That's why I don't really go on other people's pages. People are throwing in like 90 other people and scenarios, and it's, to me, it's just, it's boggling my mind. It's pissing me off because I know what Summer told me, and just seeing that vision of the grass, the video of the grass, and feeling like I was in it. I was in the video. I could feel the grass under my feet, the wet grass. I could smell it. I could smell the grass. It was damp. It was like earthy. I could smell the earth. I could feel the earth. I could feel the humidity. I knew Summer was there. She was under the earth. And it kind of gave me a real weird, uncomfortable feeling because I knew she was there, and I saw where the earth had been stepped down, or the grass had been stepped down from other people walking there before, but it sprang right up again because there was so much grass. It was almost like up to our knees. It was green, green. Everything was green. And I heard the crickets and the bugs, and so loud in my head it was like reverberating. And I knew she was on that. She was on the property, and she was underground, and she was in a damp place. And I was absolutely certain, which I was before, because that's what she showed me. She was on that property, and she will be found. But when she said that, when she was in the courthouse, she pointed and she said that to them. um, the the attorneys, one of the attorneys in the vision said, was reading the charges that Don and Candace were being accused of, and all the courtroom like suddenly gasped, like, oh my god. Every time she said something, the attorney was a female attorney, she gasped. She said something, everybody would go the courtroom was packed full of people, and like they couldn't believe that this was what happened. And the attorney was basically telling what happened, which normally doesn't happen in a court setting, but this is how it happened. And that people were just shocked at what really happened. And she did this another time. She showed me the courtroom, and she pointed her little finger, and it seemed like at one time her hand was coming out of my sleeve, and we were both kind of together. We sometimes we're one. Like I can see out of her eyes. I can see what she's like when she was sitting there in the basement when before Don shot her. She was sitting on that. I don't know. It looked like a hassock, like a old vinyl thing, like where you put your feet, like kind of thing like that. It was kind of black looking, and she was sitting on it waiting for him because he was pissed off. I mean, she had locked him out. And I don't know, I found out later that she locked him out. So apparently you can lock it from the inside and the outside. Now, I didn't know that you could lock it from I still don't know for sure. But that's what she showed me, that she locked him out. And he was furious. He was in a mad rage, drunken rage. I knew he had a gun. And she was terrified because she couldn't escape it. And then the next thing, happens. So I just thought I would share that. And I know this was a turnaround, him going to jail. And the thing is, they were both in the courtroom, both of them. And she was accusing them both. So I'm wondering if Don is going to be the one to snitch. Because I pulled a couple tarot cards, which I go with my visions a lot more than I go with tarot cards because my visions don't lie. A spirit cannot lie to you. It's just how you can interpret it and the timing. I mean, I was lucky they gave me timing on this. They said leaves are brown. The leaves are brown. That gives us until when the leaves, are stop being brown, which is we have another month or so. Um, so and Dom's in jail now, and I didn't really think that he was going to be put in jail because I didn't have any faith in the system. But he ended up in jail. This was the handcuff. This is what I saw, the handcuffs. And it was the turning around of the events that he would go to jail. And I'm thinking that Don is going to be the one to turn on Candace because they were both being accused. If she turned on him, he's already in jail. Um, what would be the point? You know what I mean? I mean, he's already in jail. If he does good behavior and he doesn't shoot up his mouth, he could be there for another 6, 7 months. Hopefully we get a year. But if he shoots off his mouth and he gets mad, he hears things that Candace is, partying without him. You know how he is. He's has a very jealous streak, and he might get mad at that. He might stew about it, and think, well, she's her fault. He already had excuses for I've got 7 excuses and she has none. He was already planning the whole thing, like, you know. So maybe it's him who's gonna accuse Candace of he might crack. Because I think that's more likely that he's gonna crack than she's gonna crack. Because why would she crack? I mean, she has everything she needs. She just needs money to buy her booze and her drugs and her food and whatever she needs for her and grandma. And grandma gets a check. So she can't leave the state or anything. So I think it's more likely, and from what the card said, that Don is going to crack because he doesn't feel that he deserves to be in jail. And I don't know, he'll blabber to somebody, or even though he's in isolation, I don't know. But I think it's more likely that Don will crack. And this is a good thing. And I think Charles Lawson may have planned it this way because I know I got the very distinct feeling that he was working on the case around the middle of it. I didn't feel it like at the beginning, and I kind of felt like they were, but then I got this feeling like they were working on the case. And it was just, they were waiting and waiting and waiting for the right moment. And then when Don got arrested last October, I thought, okay, well, this is something, even though he got paroled or whatever parole, I guess he got. Um, that was, but then I thought I forgot about February because I've had a few health problems in the meantime, and that's also why I haven't been on. I had the COVID reaction. I had a cracked tooth. I had some dental work done, which took a couple of weeks for that, and to get into the hospital and a doctor to get an x-ray was days and days of trying because everybody was going for COVID tests. Plus then I threw my shoulder out. It's misaligned. I have to do physical therapy. I got a steroid shot. I went to an orthopedic doctor. And doing, it's kind of slowed me down for a couple of weeks. It was December 18th that happened, the incident. I lifted something that was too heavy. And anyway, so I haven't really been feeling that way, but I'm better. I just have to watch myself. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that with you that everything's coming along just like she told me. And I think that he's going to squeal on her most likely because it wouldn't be of her benefit to squeal on him because he's got stuff on her and she's got stuff on him. Because what else is she going to squeal about? I mean, he's got SA charges on his that are being hopefully processed by his stepsister. He's got multiple charges from this, that, and the other thing. What could she possibly squeal on him about, except what happened to Summer? It wouldn't do her any good because she helped cover it up, and Hunter did too, and Grandma and Allie know about it. So I think it's more likely that he would squeal on her. So, if you want to write me a comment, what you think, and plus the cards keep coming up. The king, a king is going to be the first one to go, and I'll get more information from Summer. And Summer has visited me, a couple times, for very short visits in the last since Don has been arrested. She's come to see me just before I go to bed, and I can feel her presence. I can see her sweet little face, so sweet. She's hugging something, real close to her, and she looks so sweet and so angelic, and her hair is all tousled up like mine. And and it's she just looks. She has this sweet little smile, and I feel her presence, her warmth, and her energy. And I'm like, Summer, I miss you so much. I said, I hope you come back to visit me, and I felt her presence, and I knew she was happy that this had happened. Like this was a relief for her, that this was progress, that this was what she was working on. Because she showed me, when she showed me the forest and the property, when we walked around the property, the two of us in my vision, Don wasn't there. His presence wasn't there. His dead body was hanging from a tree. It was lifeless. It wasn't even rotting. It was just like a doll. It was just hanging. And I felt the non presence of Don on the property. And that coincides with him not being on his property right now, along with hanging from a tree, the hanged man. He's in trouble. He's in jail. He's hanged. And the hanged man card I also used as the well. And we went to visit. I saw the well, and then I saw the policeman come up between me and the well. I got real close to the well where she showed me she is, and the policeman walked. The policeman in the leather officer's coat. He was a little taller than me, a dark. He stepped in between me and the well, and then I saw he had emblems on the side of his coat. I wasn't scared of him, but I was a little scared of the well, because I had come so close to where Summer was. And in vision, it's just like I said, it's just like a reality. And I could see that it was made of brick too, where I couldn't see that from further off where I'd been before. It looked like it was stone. And I'm going to write Sheriff Lawson a letter. I wrote one to the police department, for Michael Anthony. See, I call him Michael Anthony again. Michael Vaughan. I said I keep calling him Michael Anthony because I know they changed. I know he was stolen, and they changed his name to the last name to Anthony. I explained this. Why am I calling him Michael Anthony? So I explained this to them, and I also called the office. I talked to the people at the police detective or whatever, deputy, whatever. I told her, I said, please do not disregard this information. I said, I have psychic visions. I've had some things about Michael Vaughan, and I keep calling him Michael Anthony. And I've seen on a map that he's north of where I don't know where Fruitland is in Idaho. I don't know where it is, but to me, I've seen this picture of Idaho as a state. I don't even know what it looks like, but he lived. The state was shown where he was in the southern part, and where he was now was further north. And when I looked on a map of the real state of Idaho, there was a place. He was in this near the southern part of the state, and I pointed up to my husband. I had my husband pull it up on the map on his phone. We were waiting in the doctor's office, and I said, "Pull up a map of Idaho, please." I said, "That's where he is. He's right there." And I said, "Please find Fruitland. He's right around there." And he says, "There it is, right there." I said, "See, I told you he's in the southern part. He was in the southern part. Now he's up north." I said, they didn't leave this state with him because they would get caught. It would be like kidnapping across state lines, and the sentence would be much it would be a federal crime or something. So they didn't want to do that, but they wanted to move him further away from his home where he wouldn't be recognized. And they probably won't register him for school, but they did change his name, his last name, because he already knows himself as Michael. But anyway, so I know he's still alive. I've seen light around him, which I usually don't see about around deceased people. I've seen light around him. I feel that he's still alive. He's been taken care of well, and they want him. They didn't collect the reward because they wanted Michael. And anyway, so Summer, she's visited me a couple times, and she's happy because this is a turn in the road, and I think Don's going to crack up. And I wish we could get some like information, but and but and all these drama hogs, the Appalachian people, person, threatening everybody. Like Appalachian people don't do this to their kids. Well, apparently they do because Donna can't Appalachian, and Don killed his daughter, and his wife covered it up. I don't care if you don't agree with me. That's fine. But that's what Summer told me. I've been going by what Summer told me and from my own experiences for since I was 15 years old with psychic visions, with all kinds of stuff. If I could open my own business, I would. But the bipolar kind of like drags me a little bit. Anyway, I would love to do that. Anyway, so you know, uh I believe what Summer tells me. And people trying to convince me sometimes on my page that, well, no, well, they found this and that and the other thing. Like they're trying to convince me otherwise. Don't even go there. I believe what Summer told me, and I'm not changing my story. I never have. I've only added to it, plus what she's told me, because she's the little spirit. I connect with the spirits. They connect with me. They tell me what they want me to know. Summer wants her story told. She came to me for a reason. And I'm blessed that she came to me, even though I've lost a lot of sleep. It's been very stressful. And, but she came to me. And if I can help her, and I am going to write Sheriff Lawson and give him more details and call the office and say, would you please pay attention to this email? This is not that difficult. They have, they have actually searched some places like 6 times in other cases. And the bodies were buried in the backyard with lime and cement and trash bags 6 times. I mean, some cases. And they have not still not found the body until they do it again because the family keeps insisting the family would not just take off. It turns out the husband, killed the family and he didn't leave any, he did a neat job of it over a week, but he took off and disappeared. I was just reading that one today, another one, and they can find a way to not have a smell from whatever, and so that's kind of my story. So they need to read. I know where she is. I know where she told me, and I wish I could be there. I wish I could have somebody with a camera going like me saying, this is where you go in, this is where you follow, this is where it is, this is what to look for. You know, it would have to be the police because obviously nobody's allowed on them. Okay, I gotta go. Have to get my husband's dinner out of the oven, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you, and light a little prayer, light a little candle for Summer and for Michael. And I feel Michael's going to be found. I feel somebody's going to recognize him, and he will be found and brought home safely. I do feel that, and and I feel Brian Laundrie will be caught one day because he is still alive, very much. And I love you, and I take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.